this weekend.
Nice job, Missy, and we are ready. It is Team Linnehan on the left side of your screen in the orange jerseys, Team Nuneviller on the right in the purple jerseys. And Nutsara Tomcom, one of the best players in the world, and a heck of a setter getting us started. We play 3 sets to 25, and the cumulative score is kept throughout this match. That is very important to who the overall winner will be, and right away, siding out is Team Nuneviller.
Nutsara going with that short serve there, Sam, to try to cause a traffic jam for middle blocker approach. But guess what? Jenna Rosenthal takes care of the pass herself and then comes up with a kill.
Edelman Cagliari with the serve, the lefty serve. Linnehan's first attack is good, and right away she's putting on the points. 44 world-class volleyball players on 4 teams this year. And it's an innovative scoring system that's coming down to the final weekend. Top 4 point leaders are weekly team captains. They do a draft every Tuesday, matches Friday, Sunday, Monday, and you get points for whether your team wins sets, matches, and individual stats. And Linnehan puts up a set to Johnson. Allie Linnehan with that kill. Kills are worth 12 points. And there's a kill by Rosenthal off the right side.
Sam, not a lot of points out of the middle for Team Nuneviller in purple on Friday night. They are going to set that straight early here tonight. Lots of balls to Rosenthal. We see the slide there for a big conversion, and she and Hilly looking really comfortable.
The captain, Nuneviller, serving. Nuneviller's team this year, or this week, pretty new. So they were adjusting to playing with each other on Friday. Willow Johnson on the attack. Tight to the net. Tom keeps it alive. Johnson. De La Cruz going to send it over herself. Nutsara has plenty of time to set. And Linnehan out of the back row, can't put it down. How about this rally? And finally ended by De La Cruz. Well, the reminder, here's the scoring breakdown. Every set is worth 40 points. If you win the match, it's worth 60 points for each individual. And speaking of individuals, the individual stats, 36% of your total score. And they're different point classifications for every type of shot. MVP voting is very important as well. There's 3 MVPs after each night of play, each match.
Sam, I'm noticing that Team Nuneviller starts in a rotation that gets Betty De La Cruz to the front row very quickly. Obviously a big point scorer for them. While Team Linnehan starts in a rotation that sends Allie Linnehan to the back row pretty early. And the question was, who would they use opposite her in the front row? We've seen a combination of Katie Lukes and Auri Cruz. It's Auri Cruz in left front right now, and it's Willow Johnson on the right pin. And boy, has she been good there all season long. And she and Allie Linnehan have spent 3 weekends together, playing really well at those opposite pins, causing blocks across the net. A whole lot to think about when you've got those 2 arms to deal with.
Tight start here to this one, 3-all. A nice pancake by Dixon. How about that?
The middle blocker.
Yeah, back row attack, just out by Nuneviller. Point Team Linnehan.
It's one of the things that absolutely amazes me about Tori Dixon is that she is so good at the game. She's not just a middle blocker. When she's in for that half rotation as a defender, she consistently digs balls. She's great from the service line. We know she's a 2-way middle in terms of her ability to block and attack. But boy, is she a complete player.
And we're actually going to have a challenge on this. Team Nuneviller wants to challenge whether or not she got her hand under it. Oh.
Ooh. From that angle,
hey,
it doesn't look like
A for
it.
effort.
Absolutely. And there could be a different...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were right.
Good challenge. Well, sorry, Tori.
We were bragging on
We tried to sell it for you.
I think it's interesting, though, that Team Nuneviller goes with a challenge so early, and it speaks to how important every single point is going to be in this matchup.
Yeah, again, this is the final weekend. There are 2 matches on Monday, so there are more matches tomorrow, and we'll know our season champion. De La Cruz, she's been hot on that left side. Another kill.
And she is absolutely abusing the block of Team Linnehan right now, continuing to go high off those hands. This is the first time in this season that Sydney Hilly and Betty De La Cruz have been on the same team. Both have been so successful, but that is a new combination.
That's a pretty impressive combination. Oh, Linnehan, Doug. De La Cruz. Willa Johnson pointing to the line saying it was in, but she's not going to get the call. De La Cruz will get credit for tooling that block.
And you see the response from Willow Johnson, who's been used a couple times by Betty De La Cruz. She wanted that one. And as it rolls, 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 and finally lands, Willow Johnson pointing at that line. She's wanting it, and her captain is going to give her the benefit of the doubt and use the challenge card here.
Yeah, they're going to challenge whether this
Any
was in or out.
piece of that line is in.
That intensity by Willow Johnson. She's like after the joust.
Doesn't it feel like championship weekend, though?
It does.
Wow, intensity.
You can feel the intensity out here. Willow Johnson, of course, the daughter of Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Randy Johnson. He was pretty intimidating as well, so she comes by it naturally.
From that angle.
That looks out there, don't you think?
This one is so difficult.
Any piece of the line, as you mentioned earlier, is in.
From this angle, I thought perhaps out. From the other angle, I wasn't so sure.
You thought it looked good? How about this? I mean, you spoke to it a second ago, but we've got 2 challenges in the first set.
Really early in the first set.
It's 6-3.
And the captains get a couple challenges each set. But to see them use them so early here, I just am surprised. I think they know these points are going to be hard to come by. I think that's out, Sam.
And you get 2 challenges per set. But it is taking a while to make this decision. Much longer than the previous one. But it looks like we finally got the call, waiting to find out. And it will be original call is stands. So it was out. See, Willow Johnson still didn't believe it.
It couldn't have been any closer. It could not have been any closer, I can tell you that.
So score remains 6-3, Team Nuneviller. A nice swing by Ari Cruz.
Ari Cruz brings an experience to this Linnehan team on championship weekend. She has been here before, and I think that's why Linnehan goes with her in the starting lineup. That experience, that ability to pass and keep them in system.
First player in league history to earn 70 career set wins. Joust at the net, McCage. And Tom-Com off the slide to McCage, but it hits the antenna, so the point goes to Nuneviller.
And McCage has just been unstoppable on the side. In fact, on Friday night, she only had 1 error the whole evening. So that's her 1 error for the night. Okay, Molly, I hope you heard that. We expect great things from you.
She's been so consistent this year. I mean, she's basically top 5 all year. De La Cruz hitting into the block, and McCage stuffs it.
How about Nutsara in the front row, one of the smaller blockers that you're going to see in the league, and Molly McCage coming over and taking care of business with the roof of our defending champ, Betty De La Cruz. I don't think Molly McCage liked the error on the slide moments ago. She wants those points back.
Yeah, absolutely. McCage, former incredible player in college, played professionally in Germany. De La Cruz on the right side this time. It doesn't matter where she is.
And notice Ari Cruz going after her in serve receive. We've seen this on Friday night. The team that they played on Friday night chose to go after her in serve receive as well. Really challenge her.
All right, De La Cruz, 2022 champion. Let's see if she can rip an ace here. Oh, Linnehan got in the way of it. Nice receive. Now Linnehan attacks, and she's got another kill.
Allie Linnehan with the give and go. Some players do not like to pass and attack. Allie Linnehan is not one of them. It creates a rhythm for her. The pass, she steps outside the court for that big approach and eats up the angle.
No, she was asking for the ball. Nutsara got it to her right away. Hilly with the set. Nuneviller. And Nuneviller puts it out of play, siding out for her team. Well, for every race during this year's Athletes Unlimited volleyball season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. Coming into the week, 1,260 trees have been committed thanks to Aspiration's support. Nutsara with the set. Dixon off the slide, terminates.
And there's a great opportunity at how Tori Dixon is able to adjust on the move. That set actually maybe slightly low for her, and yet you saw the adjustment in the air from Tori Dixon to get on top of it and the wrist snap to get it to the floor.
Hilly putting it up to Nuneviller again, blocked. Dixon and Johnson, a fortress up on that net. A little off speed from Linnehan. Johnson. Nuneviller will send it over. Free ball here for Team Linnehan. Good D. Rosenthal got it. How about that angle?
Tell you what, a concerted effort to establish the middle, and they are doing it with a vengeance. Look at Sydney Hilly off the net, pulled to left front, and she still pushes that ball to Jenna Rosenthal. Jenna Rosenthal, second highest middle on the leaderboard coming into the weekend behind Molly McCage.
And Rosenthal is one of those players, Missy, I feel like if you dropped her into any sport, she would have risen to the elite level. She said she'd be a heptathlete if she wasn't a volleyball player.
Yes.
How many people do you know say they'd be heptathletes?
No, not many, right? This looks tight.
Yeah. Johnson keeps it alive, still tight at the net. Nuneviller gets it to go down, and Team Nuneviller up 11-7 here in this opening set that goes to 25.
Team Nuneviller going after Willow Johnson's right hand on the block there, really forcing her to play defense. I think their hopes is not only to score points, but to get in her head a little bit, make her uncomfortable, maybe take her out of an offensive flow as well.
Linnehan, it's just so much power. What D? That was a heck of a dig by Edelman. Utsara to Johnson, and Johnson into the open court.
Well, they didn't steal her offense quite yet. Big rip from Willow Johnson, who has been really one of the scariest point scorers from the right pin all season long. People said she had just remade herself in the offseason. Couldn't believe her performance after week 1, and she's been able to repeat it time and time again. You see the big swing there.
She was MVP 3 on Friday. Linnehan serving. She's kept her team together pretty consistently this year. And again, off the slide, Rosenthal has been so impactful here in this opening set.
Jenna Rosenthal and Sydney Hilly are in a groove, and it was all the outsides on Friday night. It was Saskia Hippa, it was Betty De La Cruz, it was Nuneviller, just not a lot of balls to the middle, and they have made a big change. We've seen a whole lot more of Rosenthal than we've seen of Molly McCage.
Nuneviller number 4 on the leaderboard coming into tonight. De La Cruz hit hands. Point Team Nuneviller.
You would never know it watching this match that Team Nuneviller was a team that just looked rattled in sets 1 and 2 on Friday night, but they had so many new pieces, and that is one of the keys to this league. How quickly can you find your chemistry? It took a while, but I knew after that third set on Friday night, this team was going to be hard to deal with.
Here's a look at the current leaderboard. Again, the season champion will be crowned at the conclusion of play on Monday. It's really a two-person race for the title. The former Kentucky Wildcats, Edmond and Linnehan, the former Stanford Cardinal, Morgan Hintz, we'll see her later against Leah Edmond. She's in 3rd. Nuneviller, which we're watching now, in 4th. De La Cruz, off speed. Johnson, and just missed it wide. You know, Missy, you've been around this league the whole season, and I'm sure you've seen that dynamic where a team comes out, they don't play well, and then they come out in their next match, and they do play well. How does that dynamic work itself out?
You know, I really think it's just
key. And a service error coming out of that timeout. De La Cruz attacks and puts it down. Well, Saskia Hippa is joining us in the chair chat right now. Hey, Saskia.
Hello.
So I have to ask you, your team looks tonight a lot better than on Friday night. How'd you guys work out all of the kinks from Friday?
Well, yeah, Friday wasn't our best game. It's, you know, I think like all the time these Friday games, they're a little bit tricky because it's like a new team always. Sorry, I'm always watching over there. But yeah, like in general, we have a great energy inside our team, and I think it's working.
Sassy, what were sort of the key points on the scouting report coming into tonight that you think you guys have capitalized on to jump out to this huge lead?
Oh, what? Sorry, I didn't understand.
I said, do you think there were some key points on your scouting report?
I mean, like, we have Dave as a facilitator who's doing a great job in scouting. So for sure, he's a big, big help there. But as I said, I feel like also for Friday's game, it was all about us, and we had to focus on ourselves, and this is what we are doing tonight.
So, Saucy, final weekend of the season, what are you going to miss most about this experience?
Oof, the girls for sure. Now we spent 7 weeks together, day and night basically, and they are great human beings. And I really will. Actually, I will miss everything. Honestly, like of course you are, woohoo! You are happy to go home, but I have to say I'm also really sad at the same time.
Okay, well you can now go back and cheer.
Thank you very much. Ciao.
You're a great
Enjoy.
teammate right now.
Yes.
Good job.
Ciao, ciao.
Multitasking, able to answer our questions and cheer for her team.
Absolutely, and that was a huge swing out of the middle for Kayla Caffey. They used a combination of Kayla Caffey and Maren Grote on Friday night. Kayla Caffey gets to start here today and certainly making it count.
I mean, what a start in this opening set for Team Nuneviller. They're up 19-9 right now. We're going to 25, and there's a much-needed side out by Team Linnehan to cut the lead to 9.
Sam, if you're new to Athletes Unlimited, realize Team Linnehan, no matter what happens in terms of wins or loss here in set 1, they've got to chip away at this huge 9-point gap because there is an aggregate score to be awarded at the end of the match, and that is still on the table. So they want to make sure that they make a run here in this first set and close the door a little.
Yeah, you can actually win 2 of the sets, but not win the aggregate score. Oh, Nuneviller unloads from behind the line. Boom.
This Nuneviller team is laser focused from the very first point here tonight. They've got some players who are up there on the leaderboard, and I'm looking at Sydney Hilly and Brooke Nuneviller and Jenna Rosenthal and Betty De La Cruz. These are players that are looking to make a move.
That was Hilly serving, former Wisconsin Badger. Hilly with the set into the middle. That was Caffey. Caffey, 28 in purple in for the first time. Nice dig by Johnson. Linnehan.
Hard ball to attack as it has to cross her body there.
Official saying that Team Nuneviller was in the net, so a point given to Team Linnehan. That's a bad break for Team Nuneviller.
And Team Linnehan needed that one. They have got to make a run, and if they're going to do it, it's this rotation. Look who's in the front row right now. Linnehan along with Molly McCage, their 2 most productive players. They really need to string some together.
Ari Cruz, 2016 Olympian with Puerto Rico serving. Hilly chases that. Nice dig by Cruz. Linnehan still alive. So hard to put the ball down on this court.
Wow.
And McCage off the slide.
Look at the attack there by McCage. This angle is just crazy. Talk about wrist action. Look at her swing that one back across her body. But interesting use of players for Nuneviller, as we are getting a look at Stalzer on the court, and they're using her on the outside and leaving Betty De La Cruz over on the right side right here. And Stalzer is an absolute high flyer. You see the attack there.
Yeah, Stalzer's the player that just got that kill.
Here she comes. Have not seen a whole lot of her here in the 3rd season of AU, but people who have watched her in the past just rave about what a high flyer she is, and boy, that was a great example of it.
She was a state high jump champion in high school. You can see it there. And Linnehan tools the block for another kill and more points in that race for the season championship. Team Nuneviller, though, way out in front, trying to put this first set to bed.
Little switch of their pin players here on on Sunday night, and it's paying off.
De La Cruz, lightning fast serve, put a radar gun on that. McCage, and McCage puts it out of play.
Anytime McCage is on the attack, you feel like there's still a chance. Unfortunately, with that big kill, she'll rotate to the back.
3-time All-American at Texas. Been playing professionally in Germany. Oh, Caffey. That felt good.
Inside the block with a sharp cut into left back. That was wrist away, thumb down. This is beautiful by Kayla Caffey. She is up quick, and the arm comes through even quicker.
Caffey's service error keeps Linnehan in this opening set. Well, join the Athletes Unlimited community now. Play Fantasy Pick'em. Chat with fellow Athletes Unlimited members and more. Sign up today for free. ausports.com/fantasy. I want to do that now that I'm getting into the Athletes Unlimited. This is fun. Attack. Johnson. Hilly with a dump. And it worked. Set point, Team Nuneviller.
Hilly really knows her timing well. She knows when is the right time to send it over. She leads the league in terms of kills for setters. And that is the reason why drops one right into the middle. Team Nuneviller with a huge 10-point gap on the scoreboard, looking to make it 11 and finish this first set off.
Edelman serving. And Linnehan dug by Nuneviller. Linnehan. Nuneviller trying to end it. Nuneviller puts it away. Smart shot by the captain, Brooke Nuneviller, and she gives her team the first set.
Extra spark of energy. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and the Dominican Republic has such a long history of producing outstanding baseball players. He might be a name to keep your eye on for his accomplishments in another sport one day.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's got some pretty athletic genes there, having taken a look at his mother.
But it is so excellent how this Athletes Unlimited really embraces the families of these players. Second set underway. Team Nuneviller put up a big deficit over Team Linnehan in that first set. That's going to be hard to overcome, but that's one way to do it. McCage crushes it on the right side.
They're going to need a heavy, heavy dose of Molly and McCage here in set two. I think they're going to have to get their middles established the way that Team Nuneviller was able to do so early in set one.
So they won by 11 in the first set. 1-all here to start the second. This set also to 25. Nuneviller puts it down.
Pass and attack. And I've said it time and time again, the players who play with Sydney Hilly as outside hitters tend to absolutely shine. She has such a good job with her location, understanding where each player needs the ball, how fast they need the ball. She brings out the best in her attackers.
Remember, Nuneviller fourth on the leaderboard coming into the night. Linnehan is blocked. Rosenthal getting that one. 6'6" middle from the state of Wisconsin. She played at Marquette, the all-time blocks leader there.
Jenna Rosenthal having an absolutely fantastic match so far.
Linnehan blocked again. She'll try one more time. Linnehan keeps ripping. It's like a good basketball shooter. They keep shooting. She's going to keep swinging.
And that time, you had mentioned Sam blocked again. Getting blocked several times on the lower, faster set. She likes that set, but they're doing such a good job reading her that the block is ahead of her. So actually, she had more success with the higher out of system ball. It gave her room to swing around that big block.
She's chasing her teammate Leah Edmond for the individual title. Needs to keep putting up the points. Needs to get her team on the board as well. Just cut that sharp. They were looking for the touch, not going to get it. Point Team Nuneviller.
Jenna Rosenthal has just been such a force at the net. Allie Linnehan doing everything she can to avoid those hands, and it forces her to try to take a shot inside the block that's just too sharp.
Zara setting Dixon in the middle. Here's De La Cruz performing tonight in front of her son. Oh, nice dig, Cagliari. Oh, Willow Johnson terminates.
monster swing from Willow Johnson, but let's take it from this dig of Nicole Edelman-Cagliari, who's getting the back row defensive role here as the second setter on Team Nuneviller and doing such a nice job with it. We've seen her used in really unique roles over the course of the season. Great job on the off-speed pickup, but then the second swing there from Willow Johnson, just too much.
Linnehan, who's just surged up the leaderboard the past few weeks. Back-to-back 1,000-point weeks. It's very rare in this league. Caffey sends it over. Now here's Johnson again. Hilly, the set to De La Cruz. And net violation against Team Linnehan, point Team Nuneviller. Remember, Nunneviller's in purple, Linnehan's in orange.
And I think you have to understand the difference between Betty De La Cruz and Brooke Nuneviller to really appreciate the performance of Sydney Hilly. These are two very different outside hitters. You've got Brooke Nuneviller, who is all about tempo, pace, beating the block. And then you've got Betty De La Cruz, who loves to hit the high ball and go after blockers' hands. And so Sydney Hilly has to be very aware of who she's delivering to.
I mean, you touched on it earlier. If you're an outside hitter, you are in such good hands on both sides of the net tonight with the quality of setting you're getting.
Two of the best, for sure. Sydney Hilly versus Nutsara Tomcom. Players will say they love to play with either of these two.
Dixon back to serve. Dixon was the middle blocker named on the all-position team. Key told us about that earlier. And out of play, good catch by the fan. I think he should get to keep the ball.
Yeah, I
like
think
in
so
tennis.
too. And as you mentioned, the fact that Tori Dixon was on the all-position team that was announced already this week. Molly McCage, Willow Johnson, and Nutsara Tomcom, 4 players on Team Linnehan making that list.
Tomcom sets and stuffed by Stalzer.
Stalzer inserted into this lineup on the right pin after some limited playing time over the course of season 3 here. And you're starting to wonder why we haven't seen more of her sooner. Look at the press right here over the net, and look at the reaction of teammate Jenna Rosenthal. She says, yes, please, more of that.
Stalzer, state high jump champion in high school back in Colorado with a degree in mechanical engineering from Bradley. She would be a mechanical engineer, she said, if she wasn't a professional volleyball player. I mean, there's some amazing degrees on this
Oh, my
court.
goodness. Talk about
Sydney
options.
Hilly, I mean, it's just, we could go through that in a little bit. Just outstanding academic achievements from these elite volleyball players. That catch it, Missy. Come on. Good job. Missy Whittemore catching that one. You're supposed to set it, though,
I
Missy.
should have.
Come
Man,
on.
I had my opportunity. Second contact.
Now
I can't believe I let
that
it
would
go.
have been, you'd been in like
Man,
Broadcast Hall of Fame.
I might have made Sports Center
Yeah,
top 10.
I think you would have. We had a Sports Center top 10 play Friday night for
Yes,
Morgan
we
Hintz.
did.
De La Cruz. We gotta show you what you look like, Missy. I didn't have to jump in for my partner here. Nope. Look at that. Yeah.
Second contact. It's my thing.
Missy Whittemore was an incredible setter for Mary Wise's Florida Gators. Ari Cruz, former Florida Gator, on the floor tonight. McCage puts it down. Man, she's been terminal.
And a big response from the crowd. We've got some Molly McCage fans, and why would we not? I think you could say she might be one of the most dynamic slide attackers in the game. I just love the way she goes after it. Loads and then just unleashes.
9-6 in this set. Nuneviller leading, and they are leading in the overall cumulative score as well. They continue to distance themselves from Team Linnehan. A 15-point overall advantage in the cumulative score. You can see it underneath in the tiny print there. And that's important because it will determine the overall winner. Right now in the second set, Nuneviller up 10-6.
And after some fierce attacking early in this match, Team Nuneviller has now created for themselves some pretty easy off-speed shots as they've got Team Linnehan back on their heels defensively.
Oh, McCage again. She's been unstoppable on her last 2 attacks off that slide.
Up and over the block that time, and that is why she is so difficult to defend. She goes over that block to the deep corner. There is no defense for that.
Cage number 5 on the leaderboard. She actually moved up 3 spots. Actually number 7 on the leaderboard, excuse me, but she's been moving up. Edmond and Linnehan at the top. And those are real-time leaderboard numbers. She was at number 5 coming in to tonight. She's dropped a little bit, trying to climb back up. De La Cruz has jumped up to 6. A lot of purple.
Yeah, all that purple bunched together. These are some players who are playing for a lot.
And you got to remember the set points are included in that leaderboard as Willow Johnson just sends down a thunderbolt.
It's a really good point, Sam. So, of course, Team Nuneviller winning set 1, and that was 40 points right there awarded to all 3 of those players in purple.
And actually, Missy, our producer, Mike Dressman's the one that reminded me about that.
Are you going to give him credit?
I have to.
All
I'm the
right.
rookie tonight. Kevin Barnett, I'm filling in for Barney.
And no one would know it, Sam. You haven't sounded like a rookie at all.
I'm just happy I got to meet Key Michael.
How about another off speed, though, falling for Team Nuneviller as Linnehan's group continues to have trouble playing those off speeds. If you force Team Nuneviller into an off speed situation, you've really got to convert on that. You've got to take advantage of it.
Had to wipe some sweat up off the floor. That's supposed to letting Brooke Nuneviller, the 3-time All-American at Oregon. She was the first ever Oregon Duck to establish herself as a 3-time All-American. Dixon out of the middle, crushes it.
There she is, the other all-position team middle opposite of Molly McCage, and showing you why with a big kill and a must-have moment for Team Linnehan.
Dixon's dad, David, had an 11-year NFL career. She's played professionally since 2013, a veteran, still going strong. Dixon, former Minnesota Gopher. Short serve. Hilly, set to De La Cruz. I have to ask you this, Missy, because you've been with these players the whole season. Do you think some of the players that get on these teams are a little in awe of players like
I did wonder about that, particularly in the first couple of weeks. To be a rookie playing alongside Betty De La Cruz, there has to be an awe factor there. Would that impact the way they perform? I think here in week 5, that's probably worn off, but early in the season, that had to be a thing.
Yeah, I'm starstruck tonight.
Exactly.
And by the way, you can come see him in person yourself here in Mesa, Arizona. You can get your tickets at ausports.com/tickets. And waiting for the call to see if there was a touch, yes. And you're not going to see Betty De La Cruz miss one that bad without a touch. Come on. You might have a challenge, though.
I think Linnehan's going to challenge this one. Willow and Tori Dixon were both very quick to say no on this one.
I still don't think she ever misses this bad.
Well, she's going for hands,
Yeah,
and that's
going
why.
high hands.
And that's why if she does miss deep, that was the intent. The intent was to get the top of those
right.
hands, something that she has done very successfully. I think that one actually might have been a miss.
Yeah. I stand corrected, possibly.
And I think it's because of the fact that Tori Dixon does a good job pressing over and staying low. So the goal of those blockers, you don't necessarily want to block the highest. You want to block the strongest, which is the low hard ball, get those hands over the net. And Tori Dixon does such a good job of that right here. You see the press over the net. And I think Betty just goes through the seam high here.
Johnson, 44 in orange. Dixon, 23 in orange. And one of the all-time greats, Betty De La Cruz, attacking last year's champion from the Dominican Republic.
Interesting, Sam, we've mentioned that Team Linnehan has 4 players on the all-position team, but it's Team Nuneviller that has 4 players who have served as captains over the course of the season. So they've had some really successful players this year come together on this group. When you look at Nuneviller, Hilly, Betty De La Cruz, and Jenna Rosenthal, they've all been captains, which means they've all been on and one of the top 4 positions on the leaderboard at the end of a weekend.
All right, I stand corrected because this call is going to be reversed. And you can see De La Cruz, I think she knew it. But she was going for high hands. Key, you have something you want to add?
Well, not particularly about that play, but I had to go over and ask Lindsay Stalzer, what is the difference between Friday and today? Well, first difference, obviously, Lindsay got on the court, so that's a huge plus with that big block. She's playing that front row for Nicole Edelman-Cagliari. But she said specifically they had a really good practice on Saturday, and what they did there was focus on how to defend Willow Johnson. A lot of teams have been giving her a lot of taking line and giving her cross. They said, no, we're taking more cross on her, leaving her that line, going to try and force her to hit there. And so far, they've kept her to just 4 points.
I like that decision, Key, because obviously the set has to be perfect for the line shot. So to me, that's a harder shot to consistently hit. Leave that one there, and until she proves she can do it, take away the angle.
And Willow Johnson is a player that's kind of struggled with her connection with the setter, and that width, if she doesn't get that width, that's where she really struggles, and so they're trying to force that out of her.
Like it.
Yeah,
good insight.
Thanks for that, Key, because we were wondering how they've turned it around in 48 hours. But when you're dealing with players at this elite of a level, they're able to make adjustments that may take a college team, for example, a few weeks to transition through. De La Cruz, she's missed on her last 2 attacks. A nice swing by Ari Cruz.
How about Nutsara going with the rhythm, with the tempo from well off the net? She shoots one to the outside to Ari Cruz. Honestly, when it left Nutsara's hands, I was concerned. I thought, ooh, is Ari Cruz going to be able to handle that low set? But it's so quick to the outside that it allows her to beat the block. I like it.
Former Florida Gator, Ari Cruz. Here's the Kentucky Wildcat. Linnehan, formerly Allie Stumler. Cruz, dug, sent over by Hilly. Hilly's tried that dump a couple of times tonight. De La Cruz, up by Allie. And that is hit long by Cruz. Point Team Nuneviller. Linnehan has been steadily closing the gap. That was a much-needed side out for Team Nuneviller. It's only 14-12 now. And back into the match, number 29, Lindsay Stalzer, who's been so impactful tonight. Linnehan, excuse me, that's Hilly serving. Dixon out of the middle with sharp angle. That's the difference in this level, I think, and in college. It's just the accuracy of shot.
And I realize in this league, hitting errors work against you in the point system.
Yeah.
And the players have been are very aware of that. I've noticed several times tonight in an out-of-system situation, you've seen outside hitters just go ahead and set it over the net and kind of hit reset and let their team play defense. But they are not high error here at Athletes Unlimited.
Well, it's like when you go to a professional golf event, you're just so impressed with their short game. You come to a professional volleyball event, and to me, she's one of the players that I was looking forward to seeing the most. So many of these players I've been blessed to call their college matches, but like De La Cruz and Tomcom, I couldn't wait to see them in person.
Yeah.
And I hope you'll come out and watch some of these matches too. In Mesa, Arizona. De La Cruz over to Nuneviller. Oh, nice dig by Velez. That's going to be tight. Johnson. Nuneviller somehow creates a kill out of that. That was an incredible play. It was so close to the antenna.
A tight ball that looked like it might be advantage blocker, but Nuneviller gets there first and pushes it off the hands of Willow Johnson, and then it goes into the antenna. So out of bounds off of Team Linnehan.
All right, watch this serve, everybody. And McCage gets De La Cruz off that service line with authority. It was still worth seeing the serve, though.
It is. It is. The thump of Betty De La Cruz's serve is just something. It sounds different than any other.
Incredible play by McCage. 16-14 here in the second set. Service here by Willow Johnson, 17-14.
And you can just see the frustration right now for Willow Johnson, who has not had her best performance. Still time to turn it around. She is coming off of 15 kills on Friday night. We know what she is capable of.
Yeah, MVP 3 Friday. Tom tried to dump it, not when Rosenthal's in front of you. Looking for the touch, they're going to get it. Point, Team Linnehan.
Can you believe this? Molly McCage runs a slide out of system on a bump set from Namaris Velez Augusto. I mean, talk about good secondary setting from your libero.
Yeah.
Velez Augusto, that was incredible.
Benson, the libero, on the other side of the net in the black jersey. Point, Team Nuneviller. The lead is 3 now here in the second set, which goes to 25.
Jenna Rosenthal last year was a member of the all-position team as a middle blocker. This season, we do not see her, although she is one of the top middles on the leaderboard. So interesting in the player voting who wins those positions. And I'll tell you what, Jenna Rosenthal making a case for an MVP here tonight, that's for sure.
And we welcome in Maren Grote now for the chair chat. So we've been asking you guys tonight how you've turned it around so fast between now and Friday. What's your theory on that, Maren?
We talked about in practice this week just really playing as a team and bringing a lot of energy. Mistakes are good points. All that matters is we rally together and we play our game. When I think on Friday we were just individual and didn't have a lot of energy.
Maren, as a player new to Athletes Unlimited, but from the state of Arizona, I just imagine this has been a dream come true, and yet it's coming to an end this weekend. What will you take away from this experience?
A lot of new memories. Everyone here is just so incredible and friendly and inclusive, and it's amazing to play in a league where everyone is your friend. I can go get coffee with anyone here, and it wouldn't be weird, and that's just incredible.
So what does the rest of the year look like for you, Maren?
I'm going home. I live in Seattle, and then I'm joining PVF later in the year.
Okay. What team?
Michigan, Grand Rapids.
All right. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Good luck the rest of the night.
Thank you.
Big weekend, the final weekend.
And on the shoulders of Athletes Unlimited, these players are now going to have an opportunity to stay home year-round and play professional volleyball in the spring as well. So I have a feeling next year these 44 spots here at Athletes Unlimited are going to be coveted. We are going to have the best of the best on display.
You know, that is an excellent point. I heard you make it the other night with Kevin, Missy, and I agree. I mean, all of a sudden, it's going to be tough to be part of this Athletes Unlimited League, especially with the feedback all the players are giving other players coming out.
I mean, players.
It's such a well-run organization.
Yes, so well-run. Players who come here and play, I mean, they just rave about the experience. These players are treated well. There's a player executive committee that is very involved in all the decision-making. It's just been really a turning point in professional volleyball. This will be the first professional league to complete 3 seasons here in the United States tomorrow night.
As you know, players in the United States at the Division I level, and all they would love most is to be able to stay home and play professionally like in other sports. And that avenue is finally being afforded to them. 21-18, Nuneviller still out in front. Tom, one of the all-time greats, serving. Hilly puts it up for De La Cruz. Linnehan blocked. Linnehan again. Same thing. De La Cruz off hands, gets the kill.
The high flat shot of Betty De La Cruz has just been too much. Going off those blockers' hands time and time again. You saw Allie Linnehan over and over and over, just could not find a swing around that block, but then Betty De La Cruz deep into the court.
Rosenthal serving 22-18. We're going to 25. Johnson. Back row attack from Nuneviller. Tom with a dig. Hilly sets her middle. Kathy, who puts it away.
Hilly is just such a great distributor of the ball, mixes it up, getting enough out of the middle to open things up on the outside, using her own attack at times. Love to watch the way she crafts an offense.
Rosenthal being effective from the service line. Another good serve. Linnehan rolls it over, has to go through that block. And Hilly, oh, what a dig by Velez Augusto. De La Cruz on the attack, no, it's out. Point, Team Linnehan.
The roll off the net, out of bounds, and Team Linnehan not only staying alive, but closing the gap a little here in terms of the score.
Oh, Velez Augusto really gave her team the chance to win that point with that dig. Libero from Puerto Rico last season was a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year. De La Cruz. Cruz. Linnehan, back row attack works.
Good find by Nutsara. A lot of pressure on Ari Cruz there at the left pin if she has to take two out-of-system swings there from the left side. Nutsara switches it up, coming toward left front, reverses the flow just a little and gives Allie Linnehan a one-on-one opportunity.
Short serve from Linnehan, received by Nuneviller. De La Cruz tools the block, and it's set point Team Nuneviller.
The difference between the De La Cruz swing and some of the younger, faster attackers is that most of De La Cruz's balls are actually contested. They're off the blocker's hands, that high set that she likes, whereas you'll see someone like Brooke Nuneviller sometimes just go completely clear of the block down to the floor.
Tom Com to Dixon. Quick finish. One set point saved. Team Nuneviller with at least 3 more set points here.
And Nutsara, the master of just setting over her shoulder. She really doesn't face into left front like you would teach a younger setter. She stays facing into left back and delivers a ball over her shoulder that's very difficult to read where it's going to go.
Stalzer checks in for Team Nuneviller, 29 in purple on the front row. This is her swinging. Caffey, remember it's set point, Team Nuneviller.
Dixon with some of that middle blocker defense.
Stalzer still alive. 2 set points have evaporated for Team Nuneviller.
Will Team Nuneviller make a change here? And after the first ball goes over the net, would they switch Betty De La Cruz into left front and bring Stalzer to the right side? Because there were several balls in a row out to Stalzer there.
Dixon serves. De La Cruz from the right side.
Wow, Linnehan keeps it alive with the jab.
Cruz and Nuneviller with an impressive dig. Here's Stalzer.
Tori Dixon
How about
on the
digs in this
defense.
rally, yeah.
Free ball.
Caffey. And Team Nuneviller is up 2-0 in sets.
Well, Allie Linnehan has been the MVP the last 6 matches in a row, including Friday, but that's not the only thing she's good at. I think we might have a future broadcaster on our hands. She got some experience on the mic over at Kentucky. She said, I was so nervous, but I absolutely loved it. Well, no surprise there. She walked into it thinking, this is probably going to be pretty easy. I know so much about Kentucky volleyball, but eventually said, I think I was a little unprepared when I got there. When I'm playing, I know exactly what to do to get myself ready, but being on the sidelines, totally foreign to me. I feel you on that, Allie. For now, she hopes to stay on the court in the USA as long as possible, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's holding this mic next season.
Yeah, Allie actually did some of the Kentucky digital matches on SEC Network Plus. McCage scoring first for Team Linnehan right away to start set 3.
This is the start that Team Linnehan needed. We saw Molly McCage earlier and how special she is on the slide. We showed you what that looked like, and there it is, executed perfectly. An answer, though, from Team Nuneviller out of the middle. That's one of Sydney Hilly's favorite things to do, by the way. If the other team is able to connect out of the middle, she comes right back at them with one of her own.
Adelman Cagliari with the serve, just missed it. So close to being an ace.
Sam, this third set just feels so important, not just to Team Linnehan, but to Allie Linnehan as an individual, because she does not have any win points to her credit so far tonight. Her stat numbers are going to be pretty low. She is trying to eke out 40 win points here. Obviously would love to get the 60 aggregate points, but I don't know if that is a mountain they can climb.
Yeah, it is a big deficit after the 2 sets in the aggregate. Remember, Linnehan coming into the night second behind Leah Edmond, who we'll see in the next match tonight. Leah Edmond trying to become the season champion. Betty De La Cruz was last year's champion, number 81 in purple. And Linnehan gets some points for that kill. So there is the race. Leah Edmond in front with a match to play later tonight. And this is Linnehan's chance to try to catch her.
Allie Linnehan with just 6 kills so far in this match.
Dixon. De La Cruz, 2 hands in front of her. A nice chase down by Velez Augusto, and then Linnehan sends it over. De La Cruz back on the attack, and this time she doesn't miss.
Ari Cruz is so good at staying deep in middle back and playing the high ball off the block. But that second swing from Betty De La Cruz, there is no defense for that. The chop off the top of the block that sends the ball out, up into the bleachers. No one is playing that ball, completely undefendable.
Served by Rosenthal. Linnehan, a lot of time.
Okay.
Tools the block. She's building some more points.
Building some momentum. Make it 7 kills on the match now for Linnehan.
Playing a little more sense of urgency now. She'll go back to serve. And ace would help her point total as well.
No surprise here to see Erin Fairs. This is a team who we said returns 7 players from a week ago. Erin Fairs was one of them, along with Katie Lukes. They used a combination of those 2 last week.
And Fairs coming in and making her presence felt, number 7 in orange right away, the former Louisville Cardinal.
And a big thank you from Allie Linnehan, because as soon as she served that ball, she smacked her hands. She felt like it was just too easy. Put too easy of a ball in bounds, expected that to be a big rip, and Erin Fairs saves her with the stuff block.
Linnehan up 5-3. The set goes to 25 as well. Match will be over after this one. De La Cruz, she's had a very good match.
Oh my goodness, she is carving up the block. They just cannot run that down.
Hilly ready to rip. Fairs with the receive. Dixon in the middle. Got Caffey's hands, and it was good enough for the kill.
Nice tip shot by Dixon, and the placement is perfect, right into the center of the court. Neither off blocker able to make a move for that one.
Dixon again, the co-middle blocker on this year's all-performer team, along with Molly McCage. Hilly setting Caffey, and Caffey terminates. Hit it right at Dixon.
Sydney Hilly has just found such a rhythm with her middles, whether it be Caffey, who they're using tonight, or Jenna Rosenthal. The points out of the middle has been the difference for this team. They did not have that on Friday night.
De La Cruz. Linnehan stepped in for the receive. Created an overpass. Nuneviller couldn't put it away. Nuneviller. Nuneviller again. No touch. Point team Linnehan. And we send it now to Key Michael. My bad. I'm not going to talk to Key. I always want to talk to Key. Willie Johnson. Service error.
Team Linnehan, 1 point advantage here. Just needs to play this 1 point at a time and try to go for those 40 set win points that they could still claim.
We have a 2 point advantage here in this third set. Again, we'll see Leah Edmond in the next match. Team Edmond against Team Hentz. Service error is now starting to become a little more prevalent here in this third set.
Back-to-back misses for Team Linnehan. I think, though, it speaks to how well Team Nuneviller is passing. So they are understanding we've got to create some pressure. We've got to force something from the service line because it has been perfect pass after perfect pass, which is allowing Sydney Hilly to just run her offense at will.
Speaking of Nuneviller, who's 4th on the leaderboard, she's got her 5th double-double of the season tonight. McCage, so good off that slide, continues.
Molly McCage doing her thing. Make it 10 kills now for Molly McCage, who is actually leading the way for Team Linnehan, and she is hitting out of the middle. You don't see that very often.
Tom waited on that. Now here's Linnehan. Linnehan looking for the kill. Nuneviller goes over the block. Linnehan does the same. Good dig by Cruz. Linnehan. And De La Cruz out of the back row with the kill.
You can see the hesitancy from the players to commit an error.
I
That's
agree.
why we see the high efficiency volleyball. But finally, it was De La Cruz with the first opportunity and system to take a big rip, and she makes it absolutely count as she paints the sideline there.
Again, errors take away from your individual score, and for Linnehan, that's the last thing she wants. She needs to pour on the points to try to catch Leah Edmond. Johnson tooling the block for another point for Team Linnehan, and they have a 2-point advantage here in the 3rd set.
That's another wrinkle of the offense for Team Linnehan is Willow Johnson out of the back row, something that she's done quite well for this team. Did it on Friday night.
Just missed. And now we'll go over to Key Michael with a little more on Willow Johnson. Key?
I'm here for you this time, Sam. Well, I was talking to Willow Johnson after the last match, and she said how excited she was to get the gang back together. After the matches last week, the 4 of them, meaning Willow, Nutsara, McCage, and Linnehan, were talking about how sad they would be parting ways, but how amazing it would be to some way, get their squad back together for week 5, and that's pretty much exactly what they did. She said, as the draft was going, I was getting more and more excited as every draft pick went by and my name wasn't called, which is not something you hear often. But she knew Linnehan would pick her up 3rd if she could just stay on the board long enough. Her team's pretty much the same core group, but even stronger. They've added Tori for the block, Ari to strengthen the pass, and she said, we're looking in really good shape to end on a high this weekend.
And now we're just going to take a look here a couple times as there has been a challenge on the floor. The question is whether or not there was a touch on this swing from Jenna Rosenthal. Already 13 kills out of the combined middles, Kayla Caffey and Jenna Rosenthal for Team Nuneviller. If this call is overturned, it would be 14 kills already out of the middle, as Sydney Hilly has really done a great job feeding those two.
Did you see a touch?
I did not.
I didn't either. Linnehan is in her face. Hands are pressing over, and it looks like the ball gets past her hands. Call will stand, so you're exactly right. Score remains 11-8. Team Linnehan here in the 3rd set. Tom back to serve.
A 3-hitter rotation here for Team Linnehan. Nutsara back to serve. This is certainly a rotation where they could make a run.
Short serve. De La Cruz hits into the block, and Willow Johnson is there.
And Willow Johnson will celebrate that one because, tell you what, she has had the really tough job of trying to defend Betty De La Cruz, who has gone after her hands time and time again. Finally here in the 3rd set, Willow getting the best of her on that one.
That time the short serve is too short. It's an error.
And to your point, Sam, racking up some misses from the service line here, Team Linnehan, but I think they are just understanding how important the pressure is from the service line. It's something they talked about on Friday night that they felt like was a big piece of their success. They haven't been able to recreate that.
5 service errors for Team Linnehan tonight. And Linnehan gets another kill.
For Linnehan, it's going to be 9 now on the night as she's inching closer and closer to double digits on what we don't necessarily expect to be one of her best stat point nights. Hoping to get 40 win points here. And if she can continue to rack up a few more kills, she can improve her stat performance.
She had a big match Friday, was MVP 1. De La Cruz attacks Linnehan again.
There it is. Double-digit kills for Linnehan as she keeps the streak alive here, playing so well in her last 7 matches. Nice pass there by Velez Augusto. And then we said this is a 3-hitter rotation for Nutsara. How about make it 4 hitters when you include Ali Linnehan out of the back row?
Linnehan, good server. See Linnehan way below her average in terms of points right now. But a lot of that's because they haven't won a set.
Yeah.
Caffey puts it down.
Those leaderboard points from the previous weeks would include win points. They would include MVP points. And unfortunately for Linnehan, I don't know that there's going to be any of that tonight. Hopefully hopefully 40 win points here for this set, but that could be the extent of her win points. And you might expect all 3 MVPs to come from Team Nuneviller tonight.
Nutsara wasn't sure if that was a dump or a set. De La Cruz wisely just taps it into the open court.
Campfire defense from Team Linnehan, as they say. Everyone's sitting around watching.
Fairs with a hitting error. Point Team Nuneviller. And Team Nuneviller closing the gap now to 2. Again, they won the first 2 sets. They have secured the overall win tonight. But there's still 40 set points on the line for Team Orange, which is Team Linnehan. De La Cruz. Wow, she's had such a good match. Last year's champion.
We're going to get a substitution here. Ari Cruz back into the match, just doing anything they can to slow the momentum here.
24 in orange on the left side of your screen. Ari Cruz pulled off of that. Serve went out, continuing the theme of the service errors here in this final set. McCage will rotate back in. For every ace during this year's Athletes Unlimited volleyball season, Aspiration will plant 10 trees. And heading into this week, 1,260 trees have been committed thanks to Aspiration's support.
Nuneviller serving in her first week as a captain, but she has a whole lot of experience to lean into, including our defending champion here at Athletes Unlimited, who happens to lead the league in aces. Jenna Rosenthal getting in on the action, and then the captain herself racking one up. But Sam, to be here from match 1 until this weekend, to see that number of trees grow has really been fun.
Yeah, what a cool thing. Cruz can't get it to go down. This is Linnehan over the block. Oh, nice save by Benson, who's the libero now on Team Nuneviller. Johnson blocked. Linnehan fell down, got up, saved it. Dixon over to Johnson. And Johnson goes high hands and gets the kill.
Tell you what, we talked so much about Molly McCage's offense, but she had a couple really nice block deflections in that rally that kept her team in this point. And then we've talked so much about Tori Dixon, the all-around volleyball player. Let's give her an assist as well as she hangs one up there to Willow Johnson.
We tried to give her a pancake dig earlier in the match. Challenge took that away. There's Caffey out of the middle.
And Sydney Hilly, I hope that people watching can appreciate this performance to redraft each week and be given a couple new middles, and then as a setter to be able to establish that rhythm so quickly, and then to do it against such high-level competition that you have to do it in somewhat of a tricky delivery, and she does it all.
Caffey crushes it. And we welcome in Katie Lukes into the chair chat.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
So how are you feeling in this final weekend of the season?
It's, it's bittersweet. I think it's been a really fun up and down season. Obviously, each week presents us new challenges, but just like playing with these girls, I'm really going to miss.
Katie, you were one of just 6 players drafted to AU this season, coming in to season 3 here. What would you say you've learned the most over the course of these 5 weeks?
Yeah, I think obviously playing with older players. This is my first pro season, so just being able to learn from them, but also being able to adapt every week. I think that's a challenge in itself, and it's really pushed me further than I thought I ever would have to go, obviously, in this career. So I'm excited. I'm really happy that I started here in my pro career because I think it's pushed me really, really hard.
I would assume that when you come into a league like this, you may be a little starstruck by some of the players that are surrounding you, and probably by now you guys are all family.
Yeah, no, it's so funny because obviously your first day, I grew up watching a lot of these players, and now we're just friends and family, and we all follow each other on Instagram, and it's just kind of one of those things that's surreal that when you're little, you're like, that's like your idol, you know, and I have autographs from some of these players, so it's just really insane experience.
Katie, this has not been the best performance that we've seen from this core group here on Team Linnehan that's been together for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You'll have 24 hours to turn it around and make a final statement tomorrow night. What do you think has to happen in 24 hours?
Yeah, I think that the team that we're playing tonight has been really good defensively and being able to run a lot of things. So I just think cleaning up our defense and kind of assigning more responsibility to our defenders and just kind of finding more ways to score. I think we're finding it this set, but finding it from the start tomorrow.
All right, Katie, we'll let you get back to cheering on your team. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Katie Lukes, as Missy mentioned, was one of the college draftees last year, played at San Diego on that incredible team last season.
Yeah, made a trip to the national semifinals along with Gabby Blossom, who was also one of the draftees to the league.
Linnehan blocked by McCage, but it goes out. So Linnehan gets another kill added to her total. Coming up, Team Hintz and Team Edmond at 9:30 Eastern. That'll be on ESPNU. And for the first day since the last time we moved the clock. So we're now only 2 hours behind Eastern time in Arizona. Came here yesterday, we're 3 hours behind. I woke up today 2 hours behind.
Funny how that works.
Johnson trying to attack out of that back road and hit it just a little long. It's 19 all. And this set is very important for Team Linnehan to give Allie Linnehan 40 points in the set win.
Willa Johnson has 6 kills. Allie Linnehan 10 for her team. And listen to this, Molly McCage 11 kills for her team. It is so rare to see a middle blocker leading her team in kills. And yet, if there's someone who can do it, we're not surprised that it's Molly McCage. We're going to get a challenge here, though, on in or out, and I'm not surprised because initially I think that Team Linnehan certainly thought this one was in. And actually, I believe one of the line judges motioned in, and it was overruled. So definitely give this one a challenge if you think that if the line judge thought it was in.
Willow Johnson was the player that made that swing, and any part of the line is in. They called it out. And the call will stand.
Wow, very quick decision, Sam.
So it is 19 all in this final set. And again, 9:30 Eastern, Team Edmond against Team Hintz. And Morgan Hintz and Leah Edmond, the captains of those teams. Itzara with the set, McCage, quick finish. And it's Linnehan who hits 20 points first.
Make it 12 kills now for Molly McCage, who is hitting above 500 on this. She's the only player in the league to be hitting 400 on the season. So she puts up numbers like this on the regular.
She was MVP 2 on Friday. And Nuneviller thought she had a kill. That's good D by Cruz.
That's an Ari Cruz special right there. She's so good at that.
Linnehan this time gets the kill. Hit it right in front of Cruz. Nuneviller, excuse me.
Confusing those blonde ponytails on the outside. Two lethal attackers.
And Nuneviller, I've always loved watching her play. She's one of those players, if your life's on the line, you want her playing for it. Such an incredible competitor. She's third in the leaderboard right now. Linnehan still at 2, Edmond leading, and we'll see her in the next match. Remember, Allie Linnehan needs her team to win this set to pick up 40 set win points.
Unless Team Hintz can come out and really get a sweep of Team Edmond tonight, it feels like Leah has an opportunity to widen the gap.
Teams will be back on the floor tomorrow night for the season finale, and Hilly finally getting that dump to go down.
Another kill for Sydney Hilly, who's the highest setter on the leaderboard over the course of the season. She leads all setters in terms of kills and assists. She has just been fantastic here in her first season at AU.
Linnehan had a lot of time and got the hands. Another kill for Linnehan.
And that time it's called out by the line judge, and this time the up official overrules it and calls it in. So a couple overrules here by the up official, and because of that, another challenge.
So all of a sudden the challenges get poured on here in this critical end of the match. Again, Team Nunneviller's going to win in the aggregate score, but Team Linnehan needs this set for 40 points.
Linnehan fighting for 40 right here.
In real time, I thought it was good, yeah. So the call will stand. And the score remains 22-21. Allie Linnehan smiling after that decision. She said that felt too good to be out. Come
Absolutely. She had it just enough for a snap on that one. They have not been able to create service pressure tonight, Team Linnehan. We have seen Team Nuneviller in system time and time again, and guess what else we've seen time and time again? Betty De La Cruz abusing the block again. High off those hands, and this is Willow Johnson. This is not a small setter block. This is a big block that Betty De La Cruz continues to have her way with.
22 all, going to 25. De La Cruz hit around the block, and a net violation on Team Linnehan will give the point to Team Nuneviller anyway. That was a smart attack.
Team Nuneviller 2 points away from an absolutely clean sweep that could cause a lot of purple to be jumping up our leaderboard.
And that is unexpected. We would not have expected that coming into the night. Dixon got it on the way down, but also got into the net. So it is set point for Team Nuneviller, a match point as well. Trying to end this. Hilly serving. Cruz. And Cruz keeps Linnehan alive.
We've seen a little rotation of outside hitters there, including Aaron Fairs, including Ari Cruz, and the changes have been good. Just a little something different in the lineup, giving them a punch at times.
So again, this match could be over if Nuneviller wins this point. Caffey attacking. McCage to the joust with Caffey. Johnson hit hands.
Net violation.
Yeah, on Nuneviller. It's 24 all.
On Team Nuneviller, it's actually Lindsay Stalzer, 29 in purple, who's called in the net there. And this was a very playable ball up for Team Nuneviller, but absolutely, you see Stalzer into the net. We're tied at 24.
De La Cruz still alive. It's got to go over. Free ball here for Team Linnehan.
Expected to McCage. No.
Johnson attacks. Linnehan setting Cruz. Dig by Nuneviller.
All this off-speed taking.
And it is Willow Johnson who delivers the final blow, giving her team the match point.
And Sam, I was going to say, all this off-speed taking Molly McCage out of the offense. They keep forcing Nutsara to make first contact, taking Molly McCage out, and it doesn't matter. Linnehan's team finds a way.
Well, Willow Johnson.
Nutsara and Molly at this point is not even with words. It is literally just body language. I asked her, hey, how is it going so well with you? Why are you getting so many balls? Why are you so involved in the offense? Great passing, but Nutsara and I are just feeling each other right now.
Set point for Linnehan. Also to end the match. And De La Cruz says, I'm not ready to stop.
No surprise where that ball was going. Everyone knew Betty De La Cruz would be on the receiving end of it. The question is, could they stop her? And they cannot. She has overpowered this block time and time again, chopping it off the hands.
Yeah, what a performance from De La Cruz tonight. 25 all, back to win by 2. Off the net, Linnehan with the serve receive. Johnson. And Johnson gives her team another set point. She gave him the last one.
High Up hands by Betty De La Cruz, and Johnson answers with one of her own. We're going to see a substitution. Johnson, who plays in right back, is going to exit the match, and Alicia Childress, who has really acted as a coach on this team, quite honestly. We have seen Allie Linnehan lean into her leadership and her experience, and she's a setter, so very confident and comfortable playing out of right back. It actually gives them a second set of hands on the floor. If they choose to use the tip shot to Nutsara, Alicia Childress can step right in.
Formerly Alicia Glass when she played at Penn State. Childress with the set to Cruz. Sent over. And that'll do it. 4 contacts called against Team Nuneviller. So Allie Linnehan will get 40 points.
चल के बाद बंदे भोला समय पे से भमिया तोहार सिर्फ संडे के बुझो अब करे हमारे इंतजार सिर्फ संडे के सुन आइल बाटे तो मंडे